This is Gary Rogers, and I'm a director and an independent unfranchised owner with MarketAmerica.com. And welcome to step 2 of the Basic 5. And this section is entitled Developing Goals and Goal Statements. And if you're not familiar with goals and what that means and why it's important, a goal is it's a predetermined end result. It's your controlling the outcome of your life and of your business. And it's not a wish, it's not a desire or a craving, or it's not a hope. It's you controlling the result. And for some people, that's really an unfamiliar concept. In fact, for most people, that's an unfamiliar concept, because most people end up just kind of drifting along and going with the flow, and and the statistics show that 95% of our population ends up quite dissatisfied and regretful of where they end up in life because they just never got around to making the choices that would have and the commitments and the consistent actions that would have put their life where they wanted it to be. So when you set a goal, you've decided on your outcome in advance. That's really a form of time travel. You've traveled into the future in your mind, and you visualized how you wanted it to be, and you set the situations up in your life, and you took the actions and made the decisions so that everything would come to pass, and you found that you did control your outcome. It's an incredibly exciting feeling when you master that. And the point of this training is just to help get you started in goal setting. And I can't stress enough how important it is. This is one that I think people like to skip over, and maybe it feels or sounds a little fluffy, or it's not that important, or I hear a lot that same old phrase, well, I have my goals in my head, and it just simply doesn't work. That's ineffective. It's not duplicatable. And I'll go back to the success principle you learned in the first step of the Basic 5, and that is that the difference between success and failure is simple. The successful distributor simply did what the unsuccessful distributor did not do or was unwilling to do. So are you committed to a goal, or aren't you? The most important thing I can tell you about a goal is just to have one. That's step 1. Goal will keep you focused. It'll keep you from wasting time. It'll give you the confidence that you're doing the right things. It'll give you an incredible feeling of hope, and substantiated by the logic that you are on the right path. You have an actual track to run on. It makes sense, and you know where you're headed. And when you have a goal, you're not. If you don't have a goal, you're not a player. You're not really even in the game. You're kind of a spectator watching and playing wait and see from the bleachers. So distributors who have goals, they know what they want, they know why they want it, and they know where they're going, how and when they're going to arrive, and they can articulate their destination with clarity and confidence. Another benefit to this is because of these goals, they attract followers and they build teams much more easily. Doesn't it make sense that if you don't know where you're going, people will be hesitant to follow you there? But most people don't plan to fail, even though 95% of the population statistically ends up in what most of us would consider failure. They simply fail to plan. And what the 5% that end up succeeding also have in common is they tend to have goals, and more specifically written goals. And that's a big reason and a way that they got where they got to, because they had decisions made on paper. People without goals have no destination. It's often said if you aim at nothing, you'll probably hit nothing. And Chinese philosopher Meng Tse, over 2,000 years ago, said some very, very important words, and they remain as true today as they did over 2,000 years ago in describing people and the way they drift through life. To act without clear understanding, to form habits without investigation, to follow a path all one's life without ever really knowing where it leads, such is the habit of the multitude. That's by Meng Tse. Still true today. Most people are surviving, getting by, and not really moving forward enthusiastically towards something they're really excited about in their life. Well, if you're here and you're on this webinar and you've chosen Market America as your vehicle for success, you're obviously one of the 5%, or on your way to being there. So I welcome you in that. So a goal statement begins when you define your dreams, you define your purpose, you change from just idle wishing, and you kind of narrow it down and you decide, hey, this is what I want from my business, this is what I want for my life, and you start to make those decisions. You translate those dreams and purpose into a plan of action. You know, it starts by you asking the question, what if? What if this were possible? What if I had all the time and all the money in the world? What are the things I would start to bring into my life? Well, that's a great exercise, and we're going to go through it. Your goals, when you create them, are going to have to satisfy 5 criteria. And the way to remember it is that your goals need to be SMART. So SMART is an acronym for the following. They need to be specific, they need to be measurable, your goals need to be attainable, they need to be relevant, and they need to be timed. So for a goal to be specific, what that means is there's just no ambiguity. There's no chance for your goal to be mistaken for something else other than what you've decided. There's clarity behind it. Clarity is power in goal setting. The clearer the why, the harder you'll try. The more excited you'll get when you can truly visualize what you've decided you're going to have or to do or to be in vivid detail. A hazy goal usually produces a hazy result at best. So think of it in high definition. Absolutely capture every detail, crystallize it in your mind. The second thing it has to be is measurable. A goal is measurable if you can put some sort of quantification to it. You can quantify if you're there or not. And typically, a goal gets measured in units of time and units of money and the types of things in our business, BV, and units that are indisputable. You can tell that it's happened. You can tell that it hasn't happened. So that it's not vague. It's very clear how far you are along your path to attaining that goal. The second thing, I'll give you an example of that. It's one thing to say that you want to spend more time with your family. It's another thing to say that you've earned enough money to buy back 2 days a week, or to go part-time because you now can afford it because of your Market America income. So you've created something that you can tell if you're there or not. There's no doubt if you've made it or not. The third item on the SMART goal list is the goal must be attainable. And that means that achievable. It has to be something that could actually happen. J.R. Riding, our founder and CEO of our company, always says, "Dream big, because you'll never be bigger than your dreams." So shoot high. Shoot for the stars, and you land on the moon. So you want to start to expand your thinking and really a goal large enough to be excited by. However, you also have to make sure that your logical mind is satisfied that there's a reasonable pathway to get there. It's just one thing to say that you want to make $1 million, but it's another to say you want to make it in 1 year. So you want to dial it down so that we can create logical and sequential pathways to getting exactly what it is that you've declared that you want. So it must be within reason. You got to be careful on that one. The goal must be relevant, and by relevant means it has to be relevant to you. The goal has to come from your heart, not from your head necessarily. There's a burning in your gut that you can't ignore, you can't deny, and that's what drives you. It's that feeling that no matter what, if things get uncomfortable, if things get inconvenient, if things are in your way, you're still going to keep going. You perform even when you don't feel like it, because the goal is so much more important. It's not negotiable. And until you find that, it may be one of the most difficult parts of this exercise. Until you find that, you probably won't be operating with full power, full creativity, full excitement, and with all your juice. So that's an important one, and you've got to get honest about what really matters to you. And for a lot of people, it'll be the first time they've ever really done that. And part of the reason is because maybe it was just irrelevant at your job or in your current or former life, where it didn't matter what you wanted because it wasn't going to happen anyway because of the constraints or limitations of where you worked. But things are different now because you have this vehicle which is designed to help create that pathway. So make sure that your goal is the right goal. If it's the wrong goal, you can usually tell because you just won't follow the path. You'll be easily sidetracked, and that's a good indication that the goal you've picked, while it may sound good, is not the right one. The heart wants what the heart wants. And then the last element of a SMART goal is that it needs to be timed. And that simply means there needs to be a deadline to it, so that you can take the limited resource of time available between now and your date of achievement, and you can start intelligently and efficiently scheduling things. If things don't get scheduled, they generally don't get done. So you're probably going to have to guess on that at first, but you have to have some measure of a deadline, or we tend to procrastinate. It's just the way we're built. Okay, so the 5 steps now to creating a goal statement, developing a goal statement in your business plan are as follows. The first step is you have to determine what it is that you want. It's time to choose. Who are you going to become? What will you do? What will you have? How will you contribute? How will you be remembered? This is your life. It's the only one you get, and it really is a chance for you to choose. But it's critical that you choose, because if you don't choose the answers to those questions, by default you have chosen that they're not going to happen to your satisfaction, or you're letting someone else choose for you. So what is it that you want? Identify what it is, and of course, next step, you're going to have to develop the time frame. When do you want to have it? What's close enough that you can be excited about and drive you, but also giving yourself far enough away that you're giving yourself ample time to do the things that are going to make it come true. So you pick that date. Again, that date may have to be adjusted as we move forward, given the several variables, but you need to start with a target. So you put some bones to this plan. Third is what you'll give up or overcome. Obviously, there's going to be obstacles in your path. If success were free and easy, everyone would be there. But you have to figure out what are the obstacles in your life so far. We all have hang-ups. We all have issues, or we'd already always be incredibly successful, wouldn't we? So fourth is a detailed plan to get there, and this is when you really you crystallize it. You make it clear that these are the action steps that are going to logically add up to even the lofty goal that you've created. And step number 5 is you're going to write it out and read it twice a day. Very, very important. You're writing out steps 1 through 4. What you want, when you want it, what you'll give up or overcome, and your detailed plan to get there, all in one document. And you write it out so that it exists. Successful people. The difference between success and failure is simple. The successful person simply did what the unsuccessful person did not do or was unwilling to do. The writing out of the goal activates something special, and it keeps you honest. You're not likely to write out a lie to yourself. And then when you read it twice a day, you won't like the way it sounds if you don't really mean it, and a bell will go off in your head and you'll have to rewrite it. And let's be clear, you're going to have to go through this process probably several times to get it right, but you still need to start the process. So the beauty is it's just pen and paper, and if it doesn't turn out to be right, you revise it, you continually revise it until it happens. And okay, let's go to the next step. In the process of deciding what you want, that's a big one. The number one reason that most people don't get what they want in life is that they don't know what they want. And the number one reason they don't know what they want is they never slowed down, took the time, got clear and quiet with themselves, and figured it out. So a great way to start this process is, first of all, get yourself where it's quiet and you can think about it and think deeply. You may want to include a loved one who will be involved in the process. You may want to include your family or a trusted confidant in the process, or you may just want to do this alone at first and then begin to share it as it takes shape. But this can be very frightening for people because they haven't had to decide anything up to this point. So decide what you want. You're going to list the short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals, various time frames, and you want to list the things that you want in order of ascending attainability, meaning the easy stuff first. And I say that because you're going to want some validation that this process works. You might not even believe yet that this system or process is even worth doing because maybe you've never done it before or it's never worked for you before. So you start by hitting small targets, and it starts to build your goal-setting muscles, and you start to gain confidence in the process. And when you talk to successful people, they know for sure that it works. Anybody who's hit six figures in our business, I'm sure they're quite devoted to the process because they know that it didn't happen by accident. It happened by design. So let's start by throwing out let's call this a green light session. Let's throw out all the reasons why it might not be logical, why it might not be possible, etc., etc. This is pure, positive, optimistic list making, all the things that you might love. Just make a list of everything. If you don't know where to start, look around your house. Look for some of the things that might need repairing. Look for some of the things that you'd like to see new. And you can use this chart here as a goal to live. That's a lifestyle. These are lifestyle goals. What do you want? You want to work part-time, flexible hours, work from home or anywhere else? You want to be your own boss? You want more time with your family and friends? You want more vacations? Where do you want those vacations? You want a college fund, a couple of college funds handled so you don't have to stress about that? You want a nice big cushion savings and an investment profile? You want to retire early? You want to help people? All these types of things that make you feel good. That make you feel good about where your life is headed. Write them down as if they are possible, because they are. To love, something for your spouse, a romantic weekend, something for a relative, a gift for a friend. To learn, you want to learn a second language, you want to learn to play guitar, the piano, or tuba, you want to learn how to cook, how to fly, how to scuba dive, any new skill, anything that is fun for you. You want to spend more time developing that, getting better at it, or just enjoying it. These are all the types of things that kind of get us excited above and beyond our normal survival mode in life. Maybe you want to leave something behind. Most people figure out after they've got the money problem solved, if they ever do, and after they've enjoyed some of the material benefits of wealth and success, the only thing that makes that last empty feeling go away, the most satisfying thing of all, the true path to happiness, is really what you do for others and how you've helped others in the process. And so why don't you build that in as well? Sometimes when you're real needy and things are hurting and you really need to take care of yourself, you have to focus on that first. But understand that along the journey that one of the greatest satisfactions is going to be how many people benefited or how people benefited from what you did. So you might as well do that on purpose as well, instead of leaving that up to chance and making that be an accident if it happens at all. So you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything. So ultimately, of course, when you build this list, you're going to have to start prioritizing, and you're going to have to start choosing. And that's really a reflection of who you are. Money is just money until you decide what you're going to do with it. So again, let's keep it into 4 categories, and this is a list you can continually develop. What do you want to live for your lifestyle? What do you want to love, to keep the people that matter to you close to you, and how can you help make their lives better? What do you want to learn to develop yourself? And what do you want to leave? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? These are great questions and a great fun activity to do with the people you care about. Okay, so next step is you're turning these things, these nice ideas, into goals because you're choosing them over others, and you're going to list them in order of ascending attainability, meaning that if a pair of shoes is something you really care about and you really want to get, you're going to list that before you list the trip to Europe for a month. Because it's going to happen quicker, it's more attainable, and you want to get that feedback and that little reward as you move along the process of creating and achieving your goals. Next, you're going to make it real by boiling down the costs of the items on your list and creating a the monetary equivalent. You're going to decide how much is it going to cost for these things and do the simple math of adding them up and determine the income that's going to be necessary to support your new lifestyle and the goals along with it. Once you've determined the income that you want or that it will be required to get these things or to do these things or to be these things, you're going to break it down using our business model, and you're going to determine the number of business development centers or BDCs you need to qualify for the commissions to attain this income level. You're going to use $1,500 per BDC as a baseline. For every one of Market America's business development centers, it has a maximum potential earnings, not including retail profit, not including IBV, and not including leadership bonuses. The maximum earnings as you go through the cycle is $1,500. And you can earn so much more than that. You can earn up to $3,600 per week per business development center when you mature each of them. But the part of it that you have the most pinpoint control over in the goal setting process, and it doesn't have to be left up to other people's timing, is just the BV and the 5,000 BV on the left and 5,000 BV group business volume on the right. When you go through that cycle, it creates $1,500. Now the only variable is how long will it take to do it. So a great number to be aware of, and back to the measurement part of the business. Remember, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time. The measurable part, a great way to get started is by paying close attention to how many weeks it takes you to complete the pay cycle or to flush through the cycle, to go from 0 to 5,000 on the left and to go from 0 to 5,000 on the right. Because every time you do that, that's $1,500 minimum to you, and that's the most controllable by far of all of the income sources in the management performance compensation plan. So $1,500, it's also easy math. So how many times do you need $1,500 to come in, and how often do you need it to come in? That becomes the guideline for the income that you're going to use to back up the payment for the things you've decided that are most important to you on your goal statement. And that will lead you to determining the PIN level that reflects your goal. For example, professional coordinator, someone that earns between $4,500 and $7,800 in a 4-week pay cycle. They earn a minimum of $4,500 per month, let's say, and what that means is they flush through or complete the pay cycle 3 times minimum in a month, and 3 times $1,500 is $4,500, and so that becomes $4,500 per month becomes something that you can place against the cost of the things on your goal statement. So that's another reason why we have the PIN level system, is because it's real. It allows you to aim for something, to be recognized for something, and something that we love to do is to set our time frames against an event, a future event. We love to, we work our business from event to event, and it's very exciting to visualize, walking across the stage at a new PIN level and to validate it, and it just really it allows you to, with much more clarity, imagine reaching your goal. But that number, that $1,500 number, is going to be very instrumental in determining how to pay for all of these wonderful dreams and goals. Okay, so if you want to take it to the level, I'll give you one example. You want to take it to the level, and this will be a simple example and a fantastic example. You want to take it to the level of where you're making some serious money, and this is the kind of money that most people can more than replace their employment income with. To earn $78,000 per year, or $78,000 to $109,000 per year, and what that would mean is $1,500 to $2,100 coming in each and every week. And you're going to need 2 legs or 2 organizations to make that happen. So your left side and your right side teams will be qualifying weekly in a business model, a 2 to 3 year plan, as we go from 0 to making that happen in 2 to 3 years. So in order for that to happen, you need a minimum of 1 good solid go now leader in each leg. So one person as determined as you are on your left side organization and another person as determined as you are in your right side organization. Now, if you make that happen, and when you make that happen, there's a really good chance you're going to be able to see this goal come true. But you are also leaving a lot up to chance, and you're also leaving it up to the two people that you brought on board, and you are dependent on their timing when you do that. So to get full control of the goal setting system, don't depend on anyone else. You only depend on yourself. You're the only one whose commitment you can count on. You're the only one who cares about your goals the way you care about your goals. So don't depend on anyone. You're going to want to shoot for 4 leaders per leg. You want 4 people on the left-hand side and 4 people on the right-hand side. They're go-now leaders, and these are people that are at least as determined as you are, not to hit your goals, but to hit their goals. And another reason to master the goal-setting process for yourself is that you can then be useful in helping the people on your team identify what they want and show them a logical pathway to get it for themselves as well. When you have that power and that confidence, you really can make big things happen. And that's when you really see and understand the power of leverage in your life. It's made for most of us the first time we're really going to see the magnificent power of the multipliers available in this business. So for the business to mature and hit the $78,000 to $109,000 a year in 2 legs, you're going to want to get 8 leaders by the end of 12 months. You do that, it's going to happen. And that's been a consensus among people that have hit these goals quickly, is that it took 4 good leaders, and the faster you got them together, the more synergy and common bond and momentum happened, so that it ended up just happening without you when you set this in motion. So if you make that your top priority, because when you get 8 leaders, you get those people together, and they're rowing in the same direction you're rowing, you'll end up doing everything else right. You solve this, you'll end up doing every other aspect of the Basic 5, because you won't want to be left behind. You're going to want to be a part of this. So 8 leaders by the end of 12 months. All right, let's break that down. How does that happen? Well, you're going to have to decide when you want your goals. So you set your target dates for the achievement, and while you're building with these 8 leaders, and working to find these 8 leaders, you're going to measure your progress against that date. So you're going to be very, very aware of that deadline. And we're going to start with a year out. It's very, very important to stay focused and committed for 12 months straight, to really, really learn the business, master the business, and enjoy the benefits of the momentum created in this business. So you want to adjust that date or that goal to be in line with reality as you're moving forward. You're going to measure and see what's actually happening based upon your actions, so you might have to tweak the goal. Most of us have to tweak that deadline. Okay. The next thing you're going to have to be aware of are what are you willing to give up or to overcome or to solve to obtain your goals. Because as I said earlier, we all have hang-ups, issues, or obstacles of some sort, or we'd already be very, very successful. So let's start with some of the things that get in the way. Emotional obstacles, for starters. Our personalities, timidity, we're fear of what other people think, fear of public speaking, fear of asking for help, fear of reaching out and working with others, fear of making a phone call, etc., etc. Bottom line is it all has to do with our personal confidence and our ability to communicate and our belief in ourselves. And so every one of these issues can be developed. You see someone from the stage at a training in Market America, and you see them up there in front of dozens or hundreds or even thousands of people, and they just look so incredible. They seem like they're not anything like us. It's like they're superheroes. But if you take the time to talk to them and get to know them, you'll find out that not too long ago they were scared to death about speaking in front of maybe even a handful of people. And people who couldn't call anyone on the phone at first, and now it just becomes their habit. And that's the key here is every one of these obstacles can be overcome systematically, a little bit at a time. Incrementally, we build our strength and we build our ability to overcome these fears just by taking action. And that's the big secret here, is just by going to trainings, being around people, who are leaders and acting the way we want to act and asking questions, but most importantly, taking action on the information we get. This is what crushes the fear and gets it out of the way. And you'll find out that none of this is out of the realm of possibility for you. It's just going to be uncomfortable at first, as it is for all of us. So that's overcomable. When you have an issue or problem in Market America, don't hide it, because probably we all had it or some version of it. And there's always someone you can ask to help you get over this. Scheduling obstacles is another big one. The assumption that we have no time and that we're too busy, and of course is. The big deal here is that everyone's busy, and there's obviously our lives are full. They're full of recreational activities. They're full of civic or church responsibilities, things we do with our family, things required of us at our jobs, and our life gets very, very full very, very quickly. The question is this: do we spend all of our hours in a way that's most productive for what we've identified that we personally wanted and what we care about? And the usual answer is no. Most of us are incredibly inefficient about that. So it takes a little bit of work, and when you bring something new and valuable into your life that takes time, by definition and by necessity, something less valuable that also takes up time is going to have to take a back seat for a while, or maybe even be eliminated. It's safe to say that when you begin a new habit, there's certainly a long line of bad habits that are worth getting rid of, and replacing bad habits with good habits is necessary to move forward in the business and in life. So, but scheduling obstacles are real. So you have to do the types of things that are going to be high leveraged activity, and by leverage I mean in some cases there's going to be some multitasking. In some cases you're just going to have to grab a 5-minute pocket of time, or a 10-minute or 15-minute pocket of time, and when you're organized, you'll find in our business that there's so many positive things you can do to move your business forward if you're prepared to act when 10 minutes presents itself. The founder of IKEA, Ingvar Kamprad, probably not pronouncing that correctly, but he said something that really struck me. He said, you can do so much in 10 minutes time. 10 minutes, once gone, are gone for good. Divide your life into 10-minute units and sacrifice as few of them as possible in meaningless activity. And I love that. And what he's really saying is that, every time an hour goes by, there have been 6, 10-minute units of time. Odds are we've squandered several of them, and that's just the way it is. So you need to be more aware of how to make the best use of your time, and when time opens up, to be prepared to take the kind of action that will propel you forward on your path in your goal statement with Market America. So taking care of the kids, babysitting, kind of time sharing in this job or this businesses are things that we all have worked out together with our teams, so that we can find more time in our lives. And some of it just have to be, hey, listen, you might not be able to bowl for a couple of years. You might not be able to make every softball game for a couple of years. But boy, if you do the things that others won't do over the next couple of years and make these sacrifices, you'll be able to have the things that they'll never have as a result. But we all tend to work that out if we're committed. Financial obstacles, training costs, management costs, support materials, the type of thing it takes to fuel the business. Use the tools, use the trainings, and while they may be difficult or may seem like obstacles at first, they are also multipliers. They're well designed. Our tools and our trainings are well designed to get you more hours back than you put in, and way more money back than you put in. And very often what we do is we use the retail profits from the sales of products, and we isolate and identify those and earmark those to cover our training costs and the tools and the associated expenses that go with our business. So we solve the problem. The bottom line here, guys, is on the way to $1,500 to $2,100 a week, there are going to be problems every single day. And a big measure of your potential for success is how you view a problem. If you just change the word problem, the situation, and understand you're just going to solve it. You're going to solve problems every single day. Isn't that what businesses are built to do, is solve problems? So as business owners, we're going to just take these problems, we're going to gobble them up. Very, very simple. And remember, when your goal is relevant, it really, and it's really relevant, it really matters to you, it really shrinks the sizes of most problems and inconveniences, doesn't it? So we're going to take our plan and we're going to make a detailed plan. Now we're going to break things down so that this giant goal of $109,000 a year coming in residually is that's a lot of money. That's a big goal, isn't it? And so you want to break it down so that your mind can logically accept it. So how do you do that? Well, you want to take that year goal and you want to divide it by 12. Simple math, and that'll give you what's required for the year goal to happen every month. So you hit the monthly goal, you'll hit that yearly goal. How do you hit the monthly goal? Well, you can't work a month. You have to break that down into smaller pieces also. When a month goes by, it's too late to fix any problems, or if you got behind, it's too late to catch up. So break the month down as well. You break the month down into 4 pieces, and that's what a week is. So when you hit your weekly goal, you're 1/4 of the way to your monthly goal. And then break it down even further. You break down the week, and let's just say for our purposes that a week is going to be 5 of the 7 days we're going to be working consistently on our goal. So break a week down into 5 days, and that'll give you ultimately the single most important component of the goal statement and the plan of action is what do you do every day before you go to bed, like clockwork. What are you devoted to accomplishing before you go to bed every night? That will be the minimum daily requirement, the single daily action, and those are going to become your new habits. Now, your mind can handle that. Now it becomes a question, if your goal is relevant and you really want it, are you willing to move your day around a little bit? Because all it will take is a little bit. It's consistency, a little bit over a longer period of time is what really makes things happen. No heroics here, no giant projects, nothing that's really that difficult to do. It just comes down to this. Are you willing to do a few things every day that'll add up to hitting the weekly goal every week, that if you persist will add up to hitting the monthly goal, and if you persist will add up to hitting the yearly goal. So it goes back to what Ben Franklin said, watch your pennies and your dollars will take care of themselves. If you want things to change your daily goals. The secret to success is found in your daily routine. You'll never change your life until you change something in your daily habits. So we're going to conquer this with a simple math and give you really a stair step. So instead of being overwhelmed by the magnitude of your big goal, it will be easy for your mind to say, oh, you'll never have that. That's too much. You'll never be able to do that. Break it down into these tiny pieces so that you know in your heart that you can do it. It no longer becomes a question of can I do it, it only becomes a question of will I do it, and then you can match it up against the power and the size and the relevance of your goal to you to see if you'll follow through. And you have to start somewhere. So, the daily steps look like this. You would talk to 1 to 3 people every day. Book, and again, that's in a 5-day week. Book 1 appointment every day. Add 2 possibilities to your names list every day. Read your goal statement twice a day to stay on track and to remind yourself that this is worth it. And listen to an audio tape or a CD or a download so that you develop the skills necessary to get better and better at completing these. When you follow through on that daily step every day, you will, at the end of the week, talk to 5 to 15 people. You would have booked 5 appointments. You would have added 10 possibilities to your list. And you're climbing the staircase to your goal. When you finish a week, you just repeat. You do it again. So over the course of the week, you can look back on Friday night and say, yep, I showed the plan one time this week. I followed up with a prospect. I attended a UBP or a home business presentation or an NMTSS event this week with a guest. I added 1 new customer, and I called my coach to make sure that I'm staying on track. All completely doable part-time activities. And when you do this the first week and you complete it the second week, and then you complete it the third week, and then you complete it the fourth week, you've completed an entire month. Something big has happened. You've also created, you're well on your way to creating a habit, meaning that it's not going to be something you have to agonize over or make decisions over. It simply becomes something that is you do almost unconsciously on a regular basis. It's your lifestyle. It's the way that you operate, and you don't have to think about it. It's almost automatic. And when that happens, it can't help but yield results. But it also gets the attention of the people that are following you, because you become someone that is consistent and someone who walks the talk. And boy, does that attract the right people. But now you've achieved a monthly goal. So over the course of a month now, you've talked to 20 to 60 people, you've booked 20 appointments, and you've added 40 possibilities. Wow, that would have sounded overwhelming if that were handed to you, but it was, again, just by virtue of you spending a few of your minutes the right way on a daily basis, 5 days a week, and being consistent. So now you've achieved a monthly goal, and then you simply repeat. At each, and by following those steps, it's likely that each month you'd be able to sponsor a person, or the minimum 2 every quarter, meaning that you'd sponsor one person every month, but you maybe would miss 1 month out of 3 months. So two people over the course of 3 months. You'd have 10 customers ordering greater than 30 BV, and you'd attend the monthly seminar to celebrate, to be there when your new team gets trained, and to get yourself back on track by following the lead with leaders to come into your area. So that would become something you do every single month. And by, of course, repeating that month after month after month, you would necessarily hit the annual goal. But you see, it all comes down to the simplest, smallest common denominator is, what are you willing to fit into your day? And this is where you really got to be honest. Are you willing to make the changes to squeeze these things into your day? Because if you do it into your day, the week and the month will take care of themselves. And of course, if the months take care of themselves, so will the first year in your business. And then you just follow through and do it again. This business is designed to mature by following that system. The business is designed to mature so that over the course of 2 to 3 years, you'll look at your volume and you'll see that you go from 0 to 5,000 on the left side organization and 0 to 5,000 on the right side organization. And the beauty of that is, with those 4 leaders in place in each leg, is that they're doing the same thing. They're duplicating that in their organization, and your business is only getting stronger, and you're becoming less and less relevant to the performance of that team, and you start to experience not just the money freedom, but the time freedom as well, and you start to really understand leverage, and you start to really understand residuals, and that this is regenerating volume, and you are now sitting on top of a business that has a secure future income. Probably something that most people in this economy can't even dream of anymore. Those that have traditional jobs. Now, to make sure that you stay the course, you're going to want to write out your goal statement. You can't keep this in your head, because you're excited today, you're distracted tomorrow, and then you've forgotten it the day after tomorrow. So write out your goal statement very carefully, 50 to 100 words, so it's doable, so you won't procrastinate. Read it twice a day minimum. And by the way, write it out and copy it more than one place. But here's an example. It's December 31st, 2012. I have no credit card debt anymore, and I'm living on the coast of the Carolinas in a 5,000 square foot brick home. I'm driving a Porsche, vacationing 4 months out of the year. My marriage is happier without financial pressure. My family and I spend more quality time together and pursue all the interests we enjoy. That's your statement, folks. That's an example of a statement. Now, of course, you'd want to put in more detail that applies to you, but you get the idea, and you play with that. What color Porsche? What year Porsche? How many horsepower? Vacationing 4 months out of the year, really where? When your marriage is happy, what are you doing? How does it feel? Financial pressure, what does that mean? You start fleshing out the details, it becomes more and more vivid, more and more clear, and you get more and more excited, and you can't wait to read it. And when you read it, a very, very clear picture comes into your head, and that picture in your head creates the emotion. It's almost guaranteed. It creates the emotion that gets you excited about doing the right things that would add up to this happening bigger and sooner. You of course have to add your plan of action. You have to add, what am I going to do every day on the, maybe if you write this on a card, write it on the back of the card, because again, what you just read here, this goal statement, it's emotional. It creates this wonderful emotional word picture. But without a plan of action, your logical mind is going to say, well, that all sounds good, but only if I win the lottery. And so this goal statement is better than the lottery. But you've got to have your plan of action written. What are you committed to doing on a daily basis? And it's best to have a partner in the business who would hold you accountable, someone who cares about you enough to tell you when you're off track. And that plan of action goes hand in hand with think of it as a scale. On the one side of the scale are all the things that you're creating that you're going to have, and on the other side of the scale, to make it balance, all the things you're going to do. You're going to pay the price so that it actually happens, and you deserve to have it. And boy, what a feeling it is when you really, really feel like you deserve it. If you think about it, it's the opposite of worry. The visualization of what you can't wait to see happen in your life, it's a better place to spend your thoughts than in worrying about all the things that can go wrong. And this is the best way to control your thoughts. You're going to be thinking something all day anyway. You might as well think something that that serves you. So this is just a law of success. You want to increase your chances for this to really take root. Then put little reminders on your mirror, on your rear view mirror, in your car, on your Stairmaster, on your life cycle. Put it, put one in your wallet, put one on your iPhone, put one in your day timer, have one on your laptop. Have it everywhere where your eyes spend a little time. I used to put them on the light switches. Any place your eyes are going to be for a couple seconds, have that little reminder. You've been advertised to all your life. Why not? By all the vendors in our world. Millions of times I'd wager. Why not advertise to yourself what you really want to see happen, and focus on this vision. And take your mind off all your current circumstances and all the the pessimistic reasons why I can't have that, I can't have this, and get your mind on what you can have. Focus on your vision instead of focusing on your circumstances. And your past does not equal your future. Your past is gone. It ended at midnight last night. You can retool, get restarted, and go in any direction you want to go with your life. It's all possible. So. Okay, along the way, you're going to have to be alert, and you're going to have to watch what's really happening. So you're going to measure. Our management system in our business is measure, monitor, adjust, and control. So measure. You measure how many appointments, how many contacts did you make, how many appointments did that lead to, how many business presentations or plans did that lead to. And then how many distributors came on board and enrolled as a result. Those are all measurable. There should be a number next to every column for every week. That way you start to become aware of the ratios. How many calls did it take to create an appointment? Let's say that it took 5 calls to create an appointment. And then let's say that it took 4 appointments of showing the plan for one person to get on board. Well, that means that you had to contact or call or speak with 20 people to invite them to a presentation, and that eventually led to one person coming on board. Maybe not this month, but next month, for example. And then that becomes a ratio that you can watch. Is my ratio slipping? Is my ratio improving? It's all easy math. The trick is to be aware and pay attention to it, and don't be in the I don't know club when it comes to what's happening with your business. Okay, so are you on target with your goal? You can look at your calendar and you look at what you hope your results would be, and you can tell are you right on? Are you ahead of schedule or are you behind schedule? The very worst place of all to be is not to know the answer to those questions. So pay attention and watch those results and monitor those results. Monitor the results means to watch what happens over time. Are your ratios improving? Are they slipping? Have you fallen off? Have you developed some bad habits? Or are they getting better? And you just pay attention to that. Adjust your action plan accordingly, or adjust your date of completion. If you're behind schedule, there's 2 things you can do. Well, there's a couple things you can do. You can move your date. You can push your date a little further out to reflect your new reality, or you can increase your level of action so that you can catch up if you've gotten behind. And I'd recommend either way, keep getting more training, because you're going to see your ratios and your skills improving while you're taking action, and then going to trainings and taking more action and going more training. That's really the way it happens, and that's really the way you systematically get better and better and better. That's an unbeatable combination. And then periodically, I'd recommend every 3 months, take the Basic 5 diagnostic test, which you can download from your unfranchised back office, and evaluate your progress as a distributor, and evaluate your team as a team through this very powerful gut check that quantifies every single little action in the business. It creates a score, so you know how you're doing in a very objective way. It's very useful information, and when you find out that you're not where you ought to be, well, at least it's great to know, so you can get to work on that and get solving that situation. And then finally, you have the most important part of this is to believe in this process and to believe in your goals. You must first believe in yourself. And a big part of this is not just making sacrifices for a year so that you're finally going to get a nice prize at the end of the year. You're going to get rewarded all the way with some of your interim accomplishments. But a way that you're going to get rewarded that is tremendous, that you might not have understood, is you've heard the expression is happiness is in the journey, not in the destination. It's so true here. All along the way, when you are pursuing a worthwhile goal, a goal you really care about, and you're seeing measurable progress, and you're seeing that you're taking control, and you're making it happen, it is the most. It may be the happiest you'll ever be, because when you're in control of your life and you're steering the ship and it's going in the right direction, and it just feels great knowing that you are taking yourself, your family, your loved ones where you want to go. It's hard to describe the feeling of hope and the anticipation of that well-deserved reward and the excitement of that journey. If you don't value yourself, you won't value your time. And if you don't value your time, you won't do anything of consequence with it. Setting goals costs nothing, guys. Not setting goals can cost you a lifetime, the life you could have lived. We're smack dab right in the middle of the only life we're ever going to get. It's your choice. You can drift and settle for someone else's leftovers, or you can design and live the life of your dreams. You can choose discipline over regret. The most important thing is just to get started. Thank you, and I'll see you at the top.